Yo, yo, yo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nah, a little too hype, a little too hype. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to anybody watching this in the replay because it's late. I know folks probably forgot about me. It's still the first of the month. Get up, wake up, get up. It's the first of the month. Go to sleep. I guess it's the first of the month. Maybe this is entertaining somebody back in the replay. It's all good. Thank you to anybody that may show up now at this time. If you don't show up, I still love you. It's late in the day, had a lot going on. This is the intro. If you don't know, now you know. I'm talking about some of the things that I'm going to go over in this particular live stream as it pertains to live streaming. Let me see if I got my stuff together. I got to make sure I can see people in the comment section. Um, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Thank you. Gotta make sure I'm good. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. That is for anybody that comes in. If anybody comes in, I see myself. I'm so beautiful. I'm so pretty. I'm so nice. You know, sugar and spice. Oh, come on, man. Technical difficulties. I don't like that, man. But I'm somewhere in here so I can see in case anybody comes through. What's going on, Creative Redundancy? I see you on the other screen. I'm looking here. I'm over there. I'm right there. I'm back and forth. But let me go into what I'm going to talk about in this live stream. You know, shout out to the replay gang. Anybody's going to watch in the replay, love you, appreciate you. Make sure you at least watch half of this. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about is tribalism in America. And it may apply to whatever country or province or wherever you may come from. May apply to that. We'll get into tribalism in America. Then also to COVID for the holidays. Again, like I said, I'm going specifically to America, but this applies to anybody, be it you from Canada, like Creative Redundancy, be you from London, Australia, Africa, wherever you're from. Then the last thing is your money, you know, and then there's your money. Cheryl, I appreciate you. I got to link up with you. Thank you for coming through. You already know. So let's get into it. Tribalism in America. Let's define what tribalism is first. In derogatory terms, tribalism is the behavior and attitudes that stem from strong loyalty to one's own tribe or social group, meaning political party, particular backing. You know, you're so strong, you're so caught up in your allegiance. You know, thank you, Cheryl. You're so caught up in your allegiance that you can't see commonalities. You know, as opposed to, let's say, you know, we in jail and you're talking about race. You know, it's almost tribalism. The blacks over here, you know, the whites over here, the Mexicans over there, you know, people in their own tribes. And unfortunately, nowadays, as it pertains to, you know, American society, politics, even around the world, people get caught up in tribalisms or identification to different groups, different subsections of political, you know, theory, be it, you know, Democrat, Republican, Labor Party, you know, Conservative Party, depending on what country you're in. And sometimes people get so caught up in the tribalism that they fail to see the commonalities as countrymen and countrywomen or human beings. Sometimes we get so caught up in that. And the dangers of it is that you don't see people as human beings. Like, you know, with us being Americans, it's not just red or blue. It's just not Democrat and Republican. You know, it's not just, you know, conservative versus progressive, you know, or the fringes or the woke ones, you know, versus the racists or whatever the case it may be, you know, to the point where when you get so focused on tribalism, you have things going on like what's going on now with our president. It gets so divisive, it gets so divided because obviously people know, you know, what's going on in the country as it pertains to Donald Trump, as it pertains to, you know, who our, you know, U.S. president is and President-elect Biden. You know, it remains to be seen what's going to happen moving forward. But the country is more divided than ever before. Not than ever before, but it's more divided than it's been in a very, 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 very long time. And one of the reasons I talk about tribalism and that, you know, allegiance or loyalty to the party is because it's bigger than that. We are human beings. It's not always about what side you rep, what side you on, what politics you have. Who's this coming in? United we stand. Yes. Pet the chick. Thank you. United we stand, divided we fall, as has been said many times. Thank you for coming through. Band Runner Squad, I see you. Squad. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody else, holidays and all that stuff. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Sometimes we fail to realize the things that make us unique, the things that make us different are the things that make us special. The melting pot, the experimentation of whether or not this big American experiment is going to work as far as our democracy. And sometimes democracy gets skewed because people are so focused on what makes us different. People are caught up in sexual orientation. People are caught up in political leanings. People are caught up in religious differences. And the problem with that sometimes when you're caught in your own tribes, your own groups, you forget to realize or fail to see that what makes us different is what makes us special. It's what makes us unique. It's what makes this country or this world worth living in. Because if everybody was the same, it'd be boring. If everybody was the same, things would be oppressive. And we're not trying to live in a society where things are oppressive. We're not trying to live in a society where people are downtrodden, people are, constantly, beat down and judged and killed or murdered because they're different. And that's sometimes the dangers of tribalism, is that we're so focused on you're over there living in your little cubby hole in your tribe and you're not seeing things, and things are being said in the echo chamber and being repeated back to you, and you're living a life that's going in a destructive cycle, and that's you over there, and then I'm doing the same over there. There's no growth. And then what do you teach the youth? You don't want the youth to see that. You don't want the youth to be subject to that. You want the youth to grow. You want the youth to be able to, be something different, to just be and experience humanity, which is crazy. What's going on? I see you. Life with Lois. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. So that's one of the things I say is the danger. It's the danger with tribalism. With tribalism, it breaks down a democracy. It breaks down a free society. It breaks down the ability for us to come together and solve big problems as it pertains to like climate change, as it pertains to dealing with COVID-19 and this whole virus and all that other crazy stuff. Which, at that point, I'll segue to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. COVID for the holidays. COVID for the holidays. For the sake of this situation, for this live stream, I am focusing on America, but I do keep an eye on people in other countries, folks that are going through different things, be it in Canada, be it in Europe, be it Australia, be it Asia, wherever you're from. So in just the last couple of days alone, a couple of weeks because of Thanksgiving, we've had over 600,000 plus new cases come up just from Thanksgiving on to now. And we've had over 34,000 deaths plus in the last, less than week or so, just because of people traveling and going back and forth. And I understand you want to see grandma. I understand, you want to get that sweet potato pie and you want to taste that, potato salad, and, you may want to get those collard greens and have that big turkey, get you that COVID turkey. But how much is that Christmas dinner or that turkey dinner worth? That's what I got to say. You got to remember, COVID-19 does change the complexion of what's going on. I mean, you can have a Zoom Thanksgiving. Some people don't want to have a Zoom Thanksgiving. But I look at it this way. Either you're having a Zoom Thanksgiving or you can be having a Zoom funeral. Take your pick. What's going on up in here? Canada too. It happens. It's happening. Yes, it is happening, unfortunately. You had to mention food. Yes, I had to mention food, Cheryl. But it's a way to do it. It's a way to go about it. I told people like this. If I got a meal over here, let's say this is a meal. I don't, this is some kind of lotion. Let's say this is a meal, and you got your meal over there. You on Zoom, I'm on Zoom. I cut it, I dig into the meal. You dig into the meal. We say our grace, amen, and hopefully it's all good. Now, don't get me wrong. I miss my family, my relatives, my friends, people that I want to see. I remember the days when my aunt was alive back in the day. We used to cut up and get a little sauced up and have some adult beverages in the back. And, there was some things that wasn't PG-13 that was going on around the Thanksgiving table. But, those are different times. Those are different times. Zoom lotion motion. That's funny. That's the whole video. That's a whole other video. Yes, Pat, and watch the chick. That's a whole other video. We ain't gonna get into that. Let's keep it PG-13. Let's keep it PG-13. But the point, what I'm saying is that we all have things that we want to do. We all have get-togethers. Believe me, I want to get together. I want to hit a couple of houses and see people and go mingle and tringle. I'm mixing and trixing. I'm just throwing words together, but you get it. We all want to socialize. We all want to get out there and we want to do things. But there are people who are immune compromised. There are people out there who it may not be the best idea to go and expose them to, a particular, a virus that's floating around there, or bring the possibility out there. Because I work in a church, so I'm around a lot of people, and I could go from being around 2,000 to 3,000 people in a week, in a day, whatever time that is, to being around a small setting of people and then possibly exposing somebody. And then again, you don't know what underlying conditions people have. So that's something just to think about, but I get it. I get it, but I say look at the recommendations of what people are talking about. If you are going to go around people, if you are going to be around folks for Christmas, if you are going to be around folks this Thanksgiving season, at least get tested, at least find out your status, at least try to be safe and quarantine and socially distance. Excuse me, if you're going in and out of town, that's the least you can do. I know people don't want to hear that. I know folks don't want to wear masks. I know folks don't want to socially distance. I know folks don't want to really get into that. But the thing I try to tell people is to consider everybody's immune system is not as strong as yours may be, quote unquote. Let's see what Pet is saying. Safety first, that's what they say. Mask up for tomorrow, today. Yes, I agree. Throw on the mask. Yeah, let's say I got a mask over here. If you got to throw on the mask at the table while you go in between bites, you go in between bites, they serve you your food, you pull down your mask, yum, yum, yum. You throw that mask back on. If you have to go into the Thanksgiving, situation, then maybe that's something you need to think about. Maybe that's something you need to do if you have to go for Christmas. Maybe considering putting the mask on, sitting there, socially distanced, doing the elbow bump and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. I do things because do it for the people. Yeah, if you don't care for yourself, then do it for the people. I agree with you, creative redundancy. We are actually back on curfew here. Yeah, I heard about that in California. California, they're actually back on curfew. But the reality is you're trying to think about those people who are elderly, because people are not looking at the numbers when it comes to the elderly. More elderly people are dying. We have a generation of baby boomers that are dying before our eyes. People are not paying attention to that. That's why they say hashtag save grandma. I mean, if you're okay with that, and you're fine with that possibly being the last Christmas or the last Thanksgiving or New Year's or whatever, to each his own. I mean, I don't suggest it, but I'm just a man on YouTube just trying to speak his piece. So have at it. But it's important to remember that wearing a mask, socially distancing, understanding the ramifications of what's going on, understanding that there's, hundreds of thousands of new cases that have already popped up in the last week alone, and that there are already close to 40,000 people that are dead just in the last week alone. And that's not even the total numbers, of all the people that have died from the pandemic and have been exposed. That's just for the last week. Have at it what you will, but it is something to consider that the things that we do are not just for ourselves, but they're for other people. Because I don't like wearing masks. I don't care for all the restrictions and the social distancing and not seeing something. I mean, I'm a very social person. I mean, if you can tell. I mean, I don't know, people who know Mel personally, but like I said, I can get around, but I gotta stay down here. I gotta keep it right, keep it tight, all that. But again, like I said, I want people to be safe out there. Try to be as safe as possible. That's really up to you. Yeah, y'all folks can hear me because I just realized I didn't even put in the headphones. Everybody can hear me fine, right? Can everybody, stay safe? Okay, you stay safe as well. There's that. And then also too is something to remember too, that there's a lot of less fortunate people out there. There's a lot of people who don't have it. Segue into the last part. What's going on? I see that. What's up, Kat? Appreciate you for coming through. Oh, you hear me? All right, cool. Thank you, Creative Redundancy. I appreciate you for hearing me. So I'm segueing into the last part. And then there's your money. But I'm skipping the whole thing. Before I segue, I want to say, remember, there's people that are less fortunate out there. There's a lot of people out there who can't afford to have a meal. There's a lot of people out there who are food insecure. And I was trying to figure that out. I'm not leaving just thinking about you working out there. I appreciate that. Cheryl. I kind of figured you wasn't leaving, but like I said, I'll link with you. We'll talk. But that's a whole other conversation. Thank you. I didn't want to get sidetracked. Yeah, but again, like I said, there's a lot of people out there who are less fortunate. There's a lot of people out there who can't afford the holidays. You're new. Appreciate you, Lunatic Daughter. Wow. I've heard of Lunatic Daughter. Nice to meet you. Appreciate you for coming through. Shout out to Lunatic Dad. Tell him I said hello. And the rest of the family. But back to what I was saying. There's a lot of people who are less fortunate, who can't afford, and people told me to stop repeating myself. So, they don't like when I repeat myself. Basically, you got that part. Consider the people that are less fortunate. Consider the people who don't have, you know, a family, or don't have, you know, the food security, or don't have the revenue to have a Thanksgiving, to have a Christmas, to have those things. A lot of us do take that for granted, and that segues me into the last thing that I was actually going to talk about. I apologize for repeating myself over and over. I was just back and forth in the chat and whatnot. I appreciate you folks for bearing with me. The thing is, we forget about people being less fortunate, and then there's your money, and then there's the fact that there are over 800,000 people who have jobless claims just from November 21st here in the U.S. from the unadjusted numbers, and the adjusted numbers for seasonal, about 700 plus thousand people have jobless claims alone in this country here in the United States of America that we call home for the folks that live here, you know. And we love everybody else around the world. I didn't try to go into all the other numbers because we could go into a whole other live stream all in itself. But the point is that there's businesses shuttering, there's people who have jobless claims, there's folks who don't know where their next meal is coming from. You know, there's so many people out there who are struggling. And, you know, and I tell you, not to take it for granted. You know, even those people who don't care about the mask and say, you know, damn the restrictions, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to see grandma. She die, she die. You know, the point is that there are people who don't have that, you know, which is crazy. So it is a situation where I tell people to remember those folks, you know, out there who are really going through it, to not take for granted that, you know, us having, you know, running water, lights, all this other stuff, all the crazy amenities that we have. It's not always a given to other folks. To remember the fact that there are people out there who don't know where their next check is coming from. They are waiting on a stimulus check that may or may never come. You know, there are people, you know, that need your assistance. There are people that need your prayers. There are people that need your love. You know, maybe you could donate to, you know, feedingamerica.org, the Goodwill, the Salvation Army. You know, you could Google, you know, a charity or something, you know, out there that's, you know, suiting, fitting for to go, you know, do your research, you know, make sure you ain't going to no charity or donating to somebody who's scamming you on the money. But you can definitely find out, you know, if it's a 501c corporation, you know, for people that are actually doing not-for-profit work and know about that 501c. You correct me if I'm wrong, just do the research on that. But the point about it is to consider, to remember that, not to take for granted that there are people out there who don't have work, who don't have a place to go to, who are homeless. As I watch making a sandwich and for me a chicken, I gotta tell you, I will cherish every bite. We all forget how lucky we are. Yes, I do want you to cherish every bite of that sandwich. And after this, I'm actually gonna have some pistachio ice cream, some apple pie. But all jokes aside, all tongue in cheek aside, we really don't, you know, realize sometimes, you know, how good we may have it. Sometimes people get so caught up in complaining. Sometimes people get so caught up in, you know, just, you know, what ain't right for them and what's wrong and what's going on. There's some people who ain't making it out of this holiday. There's some people who ain't waking up and making it out of this day. You know, it's kind of crazy. Scott King, what's going on? Trump 2020, my brothers and sisters. We save anyway. I don't know about the Trump stuff, but yeah, maybe you can help him out with those court cases. Anyway, like I was saying, back to what I was saying. Shout out to Scott King. It's been a while, man. I'm glad to see you there. I'm glad to see everybody in this chat. I appreciate y'all all for being safe and being healthy, and hopefully your families is safe and whatnot. You know, and you living good and whatnot, and you're not sick or anything like that. I had to get tested for COVID-19, and it came out negative, and it was all good with that. So I encourage people, if you're going to be around folks, to get tested. You know, if you're going to be back and forth to work, or you're going to be around anybody in any capacity, and it's going to be something significant with people with immune compromise, definitely I encourage you to be to be safe with that. Yeah, but now, like I said, back to what I was saying, you know, and then there's your money. The money that you do have, for the people that are fortunate enough to have jobs, who are fortunate enough to have a roof over their head, who are fortunate enough to be able to afford things. I remember Cheryl was talking about in one of her videos, she probably think I don't remember, how people were wasting money frivolously on things that they shouldn't have. People were still going out there shopping and splurging and doing all kind of stuff. And she had a great point with what she was talking about. You know, now's not the time for that. Now's not the time to be going out there to try to catch a Black Friday sale, you know, when, people are out there struggling and going through it. Now, if you find a deal that's just too good to be true and something that's a once in a lifetime thing, you do it, keep it moving, don't make a big deal about it. But sometimes people get caught up in the materialism. People get caught up in thinking that just because you have it today, that you have it tomorrow. It could be here today, it could be gone tomorrow. I got $20 today, but tomorrow is gone. Poof, like magic, it disappeared. Poof, it's gone. You want to have something to the point where you appreciate what you have. You take care of it. You spend your money wisely. You don't waste it and throw it after bad. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy yourself. Yeah, you buy something, but you ain't got to flaunt it. You ain't got to rub it in other people's face. You try to be low key, because there's another side of that too. There's people that get robbed, and things happen to people because you floss it and you flaunt it and you're out in certain situations. You don't want to be in the midst of that. Okay, hello, we are gathered here to listen to the words of the wisdom of the brother Melvin. Nah. We ain't gonna go to all that. I'm just a man speaking. I'm just a man out here trying to say my piece. I appreciate you, Scott King. Yeah, life is too short. What's your priority? Ask yourself. I know I ask myself that question every day. And that is a great question coming from Pet and Monster Chick, up there in Canada. What is important? What is life about? What is life worth? There's a lot of things I would love to do right now. I mean, I would like to have some liquor and some female friends and some jewelry and be out there, but some things ain't really all that important. It's important to keep life simple. It's important to be reasonable, be wise about how you move, because there's a lot of desperate people out there hurting. There's a lot of people without jobs. There's a lot of people without places to go. There's a lot of people who have mental health issues and things going on. So I encourage people to be mindful of how you spend your money, where you spend your money, why you spend your money, what's important, what are the priorities to what you're doing, and to be mindful that just because you have it in hand today doesn't mean it's going to be there tomorrow. It doesn't even, you don't even know what the money is going to be worth. People don't even realize it. And I say this about money. If you keep $20 and you hold $20 for 20 years, most people don't realize that this same $20 in 20 years from now won't be worth $20. Hell, this same $20 that I'm holding in my hand may not be worth $20 right now, because, that's a whole other conversation about exchange markets, exchange rate, and exchange traded funds, and, the value of a dollar, a euro versus a pound, and all that other stuff, which we're not even going to get into right now. Inflation, there you go. So when you start throwing inflation to money, this could be 1950, this could be 1850, 1875. So the point I'm trying to say is, when you have your money, use it wisely. Understand that money is a tool. Understand that just because it's in your hand today doesn't mean it'll be in your hand tomorrow. Doesn't mean, your health will be the same tomorrow. So I say be grateful, be appreciative, understand, the particular situation that you're in. Don't look down on people because they're in a lesser situation than you, because you never know. You really never know what's going on. So it's one of those things where I tell people just to, be mindful of those particular things. I'm not here to preach to you today. Hopefully this live stream is relevant to you. Shout out to the replay gang, anybody that watches this in the replay. If you made it to this point, I shout out to you. This is for you. And everybody else is here. Let me do a quick roll call of the people that's here. I want to make sure I get it. Yes, hold on. Let me see what Pet Monster says. Lynn, I appreciate you for coming through. So I guess I'll start the roll call with you. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Pet and Monster Chick. Shout out to Cheryl for coming through. I appreciate you. Shout out to Creative Redundancy. Let me see who else came through. Shout out to Scott King. Shout out to Lurker Sarah. Appreciate you for coming through. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. I don't want to miss anybody. I really don't want to miss anybody. I appreciate it. Shout out to Kat for coming through. Let me see anybody else. Shout out to anybody that's watching this in the replay. Shout out to Life for Lois. Appreciate you for coming through. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. No, I'm really not. But again, like I said, appreciate the folks that are not saying anything in the chat that are watching. I see you, you lurking, you want to know how Mel do what he do and the things that happen. Like I said, hopefully I'm a little bit more lively. This is the outro. If you have not known, if you have not understood. And in the outro, as I'm in the outro, yeah, I see you. I definitely see you. I want to know, is there any questions? If there's anything that you want to bring up at this moment, if there's something you want to say, I'll leave the floor to you in the comment section. If there's anybody that has any questions, if you just want to say you love Mel, if you just want to send Mel your best, go ahead now. Now's the time. Ooh, they like, this man is crazy. No, I'm not under the influence, just under the influence of you. It's all love for you. Much love. Yes, yes, creative redundancy. Much love. Well, of course, like I said, send the love to me. I send the love back. Like I said, I try to keep it upbeat. I try to keep it fun. I try to keep it free. That's what it is. Where's that orange and strawberries? It's funny, Len, that you say that. I thought about doing another live stream with oranges and strawberries. That was actually pretty fun for those people. Like I said, I gotta throw that up there one day. I got to be really in the mood to throw in a strawberry and get that. Maybe Valentine's Day, I might bring that back. Valentine's next year for 2021. Give them a little something, girl. Like give them a little of that. I don't want to get too crazy. Like I said, I got to make sure ain't no children around. We ain't trying to create no babies or nothing like that. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. Pet monster and monster chick. I mean, it was my honor and my privilege to be a part of the Black Friday event that they have with Valerie Reese. Definitely something for charity. I did have that live stream up. It's still up. And I encourage people to check out Valerie Reese's channel, to check out Pet and Monster Chick, to check out Gail Crabtree, Granny Monster, everybody that was involved with that. That was definitely a dope effort, for children in need, for people in need. Yes, hashtag Black Friday event, Creative Redundancy was there as well. I think they raised close to $3,000. It's something that I'll definitely wish to be a part of next year. And it just goes to show the community is awesome. This is an awesome community, YouTubers and whatnot. It's really, you connect with a lot of great people, here, and I do cherish and I appreciate all you folks, because we've made bonds and connections. We've been through the ups and downs. You know how it is. You know how it is, Pet. You've been through your stuff. I've been through my stuff. Lynn, everybody, we've all been through our little YouTube dramas. We all see each other go crazy, break it down and build up. Yeah, like I said, we all have our, but we all, through it all, we all come together and make it, something worthwhile. So I do appreciate being a part of this community. I do appreciate knowing all you folks, whether you believe that or not, whether you understand that or not. It is, some of you folks have called me personally. You have my number, I have your number. So, we shared, experiences and stories, offline. We've really related and connected to each other. And I guess to take the time out to say, I want you to say, what drama, no more drama. Yeah, there's no more drama now. There's no more drama now. We don't need no more drama in 2020. I'm just referring to past events. We all know the details. We all know what we've been through individually. We'll leave it at that. Scott King, you too. You know what drama folks have been to. Hashtag create not hate. Definitely. That's what it is. Create not hate. But I just want to take this time out to say that, with all that aside, I do appreciate y'all folks. Whether I say it enough, this does mean something. I mean, I can't do this without you. I can't come on here, and I could speak to myself. My aunt said to me one time, she said, I'm just talking to myself on here, but I'm not just talking to myself. I'm talking to people, but they're talking back to me, typing actually. But the point is, I appreciate you folks because we have real experiences. I've met a lot of good people, and I think they're shooting outside. But anyway, I don't know what they're doing outside. They're not doing it to me. But the point is, I cherish you folks. I can't do this without you. You make this worthwhile. You probably, a lot of y'all, the reason that I'm even still on YouTube. That's just what it is. Thank you for your appreciation back, Cheryl. Because you got to have somebody to connect with, somebody to share the struggles with. You got to have somebody that you go through or whatnot. Monster Love. I'm Mel Love back. I mean, Monster Love, Mel Love. I guess it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love. Monster Love, Mel Love. It's all good. What's going on? Kid and Mel, Robert McCarthy. What's going on? Wow. Okay, I'm on it. Appreciate you, Bobby, for coming through. But like I said again, folks, I love you. I appreciate everybody for coming through. You know how it goes. I'll see you on the next time on the 15th of December. Try to stay safe. If you got to mask up. If you got to get your spray, get your spray. I just sprayed my phone. And you already know, like I said, thank you. As always, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. I appreciate you. Y'all definitely made this special, and y'all continue to make this stuff special. I want everybody to stay safe, get tested, make sure you save grandma. Later, everybody, don't eat those Thanksgiving leftovers too long, too. If you're going into 2 weeks and you got Thanksgiving leftovers, you may have salmonella. That's the last piece of wisdom that I'll leave you with. Watch out for salmonella. It's a killer. You know, it's worse than COVID, or was it Montezuma's Revenge or something like that? You know, Bobby, you know how it goes. But anyway, as we approach 30 minutes, I appreciate you. Love you all. Have a good night. This is a dope live stream.